saw scaffolding and just thought like, wow, like how do they fix it? How do they get all that up there and stuff like that? How do they put it together? And then yeah, like when I started learning it, like I understood more.
They can go and do the work, but when it comes to going high and working safe and smart and not silly and stupid, it's a totally different ball game. So it's a very good experience.
You've always got a goal ahead of you. Like you always challenge yourself to get, go further and more experience.
Build yourself,
Build yourself up.
Of course, you've got to have a good team that are all confident with each other, trust each other. If the trust ain't there, then it ain't gonna work. It's a good career. It's a very good career to progress and go far. And I used to look at the scaffolding thinking, this is interesting. You've got to have that trust. And we've built up the trust over the years working with each other.
They're not just putting their life in danger, they could be putting other people's lives in danger as well.
We all signed a team briefing book. Everyone's aware of their job and what they have to do. Everyone's fully trained. And we carry out the work in a safe way. It's very good because it sharpens you back up and you walk away thinking, I forgot about that in the back of my head.
And I've actually really thought like there's got to be an easier way to make money and stuff like this, like another trade, But
you all stick together.
We all stick together. We all help each other.
Push each other that little bit.
Push each other, keeps us strong.
Get this done, let's go.
That's why we've lasted so long, and we all work together. And we've known each other so long.
Sometimes you sit there and you think, it's never going to happen. I'm never going to be there. I'm never going to be at that point. Yeah, before you know it, you're looking back, and you're there.
It's not easy. Like we've got a lot involved in our jobs.
There's a lot involved.
Do you know what I mean? It's not just ourselves. It's everyone around us, the public, the people you're working with. Like it's a very demanding job.
Hi, hello, welcome back. This is a spotlight session. My name is Sebastian Lake, and I've got with me today Matthew from Embassy, James and Jimmy. Matt, how long have you been doing scaffolding and why have you choose Embassy to work for?
I've been scaffolding 23 years now. Been with Embassy for about 9 years. Chose Embassy because the way they work and their safety off work.
James, what about yourself?
I was introduced into scaffolding by a friend. I was driving for another company and decided to switch over, try something else out. Ended up going through my tickets and here I am.
And what tickets are you holding out at this
point? No, actually currently at part 2, got my black hat, charge hand and running some projects now.
Well done. What about you, Jimmy?
I've been on Embassy 4 years now. Scaffolding was my first job. Like I started to really enjoy it. I've worked my way up from a labourer and currently I'm now part 1.
James, what about you? Could you tell me what do you like in your job and what is very important element of your leading your team on site, and then what is the biggest challenge so far?
What I enjoy about scaffolding is there's nothing better than looking back at a job that you've completed, looking up at it and say it to yourself, I've orchestrated this, I've built this, I've completed this. It's a good feeling.
How did you normally care about your stuff? I mean, making sure the instructions, the procedures that needs to be followed are adhered to by your team, and they're always following them.
Every morning when everyone arrives to site, we'll go through a little briefing. While setting up, we'll go through a book, the team briefing book. Everyone will sign that. Everyone's aware of their tasks throughout the day, and we go from there really.
Okay, what is the type of subject you're discussing during the briefing, safety briefing? I'm sure that's a quite very important element of before you start work, correct?
That's correct, yeah. Everything is explained to the other members of our team about tasks throughout the day. If there's any safety issues on the site, if it's going to be windy or if it's wet, anything like that. If there's public that's going to be passing by, things like that will be noted, and everyone will be aware of that situation.
What about you, Matthew? Could you tell me about biggest project you have run, or the project that you have been involved and you're proud of?
There's been a few since I've been on Embassy. One of the biggest ones was Luton Towers, 24 stories high, 6 tower blocks, 2 years, accident free, job run on time, on target, finished on time. Clients was happy, everything runs smooth. That was a lot of work, safety work involved. Yeah.
How would you describe the communication between yourself and the management?
We have a good team of supervisors and managers at MC, and everything runs really smoothly. As long as we carry out instructions and do the work that we're meant to do and carry it out, then everything runs smoothly.
Okay, thank you. What about you, James? Could you tell me your typical day, starting from the scratch, including team briefing and then the completion of your work?
Well, obviously I drive the lorry, so first thing in the morning I've got to sort the lorry out, strap up, etc. Make sure everything's on the lorry. Drive to site. As soon as I arrive at site, we set up our exclusion zones, make sure the lorry's safe, parked properly. Once that's done, obviously the team arrive, we get our books sorted out and go from there really.
Yeah, my name's Jimmy.
What attracts you in the scaffolding?
I mean, to be honest, what it was, I always saw scaffolding and just thought like, wow, like how did they fix that? How did they get all that up there and stuff like that? How did they put it together? And then like when I started learning it, like I understood more.
More, and then you want to keep it staying in it.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I think it's good, especially for young people as well. It's like it's really like it gives them something to push for. I mean, it's not an easy game, and like getting through it makes you feel good at the end of the day and stuff. So yeah,
it's a quite demanding and quite hard work as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Lots of manual handling and everything else.
Yeah, it is a lot, but I mean, like everyone always said, "Oh, you get used to it" and stuff like that, which is coming along the way. So yeah.
Will you recommend it?
Yeah, I would. Yeah, highly. I mean, I always have a laugh at work. Always. I'm like, yeah.
Good.
Some of your best times at work, eh?
Yeah, some of the best times at work. Literally.
All right, guys. So let's talk about the fun bit of it now. What is the best job you ever work on?
Well, it's quite a few. We've all worked on a lot of jobs
Not
together,
for
haven't we, over
projects,
the
yeah.
years?
Not
A lot of
projects.
projects. I've had these guys on some of my big projects, like the tower blocks in Luton, 20 floors high, which is a good experience for someone like Jim that's starting out. You know, to learn to go that height. Because you find a lot of scaffolders, they can go and do the work, but when it comes to going height and working safe and smart and not silly and stupid, it's a totally different ball game. So it's a very good experience.
So what about you, Jimmy? You said that Luton Towers was one of the first biggest projects, right?
Yeah, it was. Luton was it. There was three towers.
We had 6 tower blocks in total, but
You actually got a name, didn't you? Matty Moore blocks.
Yeah, Matty Moore blocks they started calling me because it was one block after another block.
So what do you have learned down there? What was the biggest,
Just
interesting thing that keeps you on this project and keeps you within scaffolding anyway?
I mean,
because you're a young fella,
Yeah.
you know, I mean, that work is quite hard,
yeah,
but it's very rewarding.
It's
correct?
very
it is.
interesting.
especially when like you're progressively getting higher, especially with
Climbing
the height
the
that it
ladder.
was. I mean,
Climbing.
like it's almost like climbing a ladder. Like you get more comfortable every
tickets
stage you
and
go. So yeah,
experience.
it was good. That I think I found it like it eased me into it. A
You've
little
always got a goal ahead of you.
Yeah.
Like, you always challenge yourself to get go further and more
And
experience.
build yourself,
Build
yeah.
yourself up. Get them tickets.
Especially when you go into a job and you see others doing it, it's like, I want to be there one day, like Jimmy himself, like, which I'm sure he will be there very soon.
As a labourer, you're always watching. Obviously, that's one thing I always remember. Being a labourer, you're always watching them people up there. You know, they're always higher than you, above you. You're always you're trying to get one step ahead of them on the floor, making sure they've got the material that they need. You know, and that was a challenge.
That's the whole progress of learning.
Yeah, that's literally it. If you can do that, you're halfway there, in my eyes.
But even now, we're still learning. I'm still learning
of course,
today.
yeah.
I'm
But
still learning
again,
today.
I believe it's not only depends on the individual. That depends on the team. On the
Of course,
team
you've got to have a
leader.
good team that are all confident with each other, trust each other. If the trust ain't there, then it ain't going to work. You've all got to have that trust in each other.
Is it quite high risk as well? Working
Very
at height,
high
you know
risk,
what I mean,
yeah.
guys?
Yeah.
You've
Very
got
high.
loads of hazards, hidden hazards, like
You got the
fall from
wind, you got the rain, as well as
Ahead of you.
the work that is going on and what's coming ahead of you. It's just like very, very. You have to be on the ball.
What's your plan, guys, for future?
Me,
Put it this way.
well, don't know. Maybe go for my advance ticket and maybe in a few years end up supervisor or maybe in the office and just progress. As I said, embassy, you can always grow the ladder with embassy and progress further.
James.
Well, yeah, I really want my advanced ticket. I've just come off of a big project that an advance was needed, and yeah, it's a very interesting project. Big temporary roof, just finished it. But yeah, I had to have an advance with me to be able to complete that. And now that's something I want to progress to do, so I can, in future, I can do my own roof and go from there.
So you was talking about a project that have a temporary roof on, right?
Yeah.
So I believe this is quite advanced kind of scaffolding.
Mm.
So what was the biggest challenges on the project so far?
Obviously, a lot of the job is mainly independent, which is obviously something I can do, quite capable of as a part two. That part of the project was fine, but obviously when you get to the roof, we actually had about 40 rows of beams, which is like around 20 metres in length, and it does get a bit technical up there. A lot of bracing, obviously measurements have to be right, things like that, which is obviously the advanced side.
And James, you just mentioned there about the temporary roof. Could you give us just a little bit of insight of it?
So basically, I've been leading a big project, a big temporary roof. It's all done by design. Obviously, it's been approved. Me and my team, Jim actually started it out with me. Unfortunately, didn't get to stay throughout the whole project. It is something that requires an advanced ticket, obviously further on throughout the project. But a lot of it obviously is independent, which is basic scaffolding, which I can quite manage on my own as a part two. Obviously, once we get to the roof, it's a bit more, technical. Obviously, we had to have an advanced ticket on site just to be able to continue that project and go further. It's quite in depth, like a big roof, roughly around 40 rows of 20 metre beams. Very big roof. Quite proud of it actually. But yeah, it's looking nice and nearly finished.
What changes been made within that time frame or time period when you started in scaffolding? Let's say Matthew 23 years ago, you 7 years ago, and you 4 years ago. So yeah, I would like to hear that.
Well, when I started, as I said, 23 years ago, the health and safety and the way of the work is totally changed to how it is now. I mean, 23 years ago, you didn't get visits of health and safety officers. There was no harnesses. Like, it was a very dangerous job. To how it is now is absolutely amazing and so safe, I actually think.
So what actually has changed since you started and until now? So what kind of changes have you noticed that have improved your working conditions, your mental health being, and safety on the job itself?
As I said, I think the main thing is the safety, definitely.
Advanced guardrails,
It's
handrails around the lorry, barriers,
Away from that, it's
exclusion
just
zones.
the scaffolding
things
itself
like
has just changed.
That wasn't much of a thing back then, was it?
No, nothing was like, you didn't get nothing like that now. But now it's just, everything has to be 100% safety.
Jamie?
Well, I started 4 years ago, so to be honest, I don't really. When I started, the health and safety side to it was like it was there. It was pretty much like how it is today. There's not really been too much change. Like obviously, these lot have been doing it a lot longer than me, so there's probably more of a difference there. But
it's just put towards us a bit more, innit?
Yeah.
More
like,
toolbox.
More,
tools,
like,
things like that.
Yeah, like how you treat the environment, how public and stuff like that.
Beautiful. So as you can see, just a little bit, couple of years difference, and then you can see the difference in the culture.
Yeah.
Because Jimmy don't notice any difference since he started. He noticed just the improvements.
Yeah.
And you guys have seen the big changes in
Definitely.
the culture and improvements in the working conditions, site conditions, and your mental health being as well.
Mm-hmm.
So what Jimmy knows is only he knows the way he's been
Tool.
taught through it. Do you know what I mean? And there is no element of that unsafety work,
Yeah.
like no tickets, unskilled workers, non-professional.
Importance of a
Just
harness.
had anyone doing it, didn't you?
Important.
Like, mate.
Yeah. So, what do you think, guys? If you didn't start the scaffolding career, where will you be now?
I'd be mostly still painting and decorating.
Me, myself, I was actually a lorry technician before I started scaffolding. It's quite a big jump, to be honest.
It's fine, but what keeps you in the scaffolding? It must be something. Then
every day is a different day.
It's a challenge.
You never
Every
know
day's
what
a
you're
challenge.
you never know what you're going to get. It's every single day is different. You got different scenery, different places,
Different environment.
different people. You meet different people every single day. You're working with different people every other week. No day is ever the same.
Well, I mean, I started when I literally just left college, so I weren't really like, this was my first job as well. This not just being on embassy for the first time, but like scaffolding and all was like generally my first actual job. Like, and I come straight from college, so I was doing like logistics or something in college. So I would have been probably working in a warehouse somewhere. Like that's what I was like learning in college. So yeah.
What you would say to the people who's listening to us and they are thinking scaffolding?
It's a good career. It's a very good career to progress and go far. Keeps you fit, keeps you healthy.
A lot of people don't look up to scaffolding, do they? But
Well, it's changed nowadays.
Yeah.
They didn't used to, but our reputation did used to be quite sore. But now, as I said, you've got to be very competent to do the
you
job.
can't just jump into it.
You
start
can't just
throwing
jump
jobs
into
up,
it.
yeah.
No, not like you used to. So it's a very good career.
There's a lot more training for it now.
Like
you
young
fit
Jimmy,
also.
like as young Jimmy said, he started 4 years ago, and look where he is now. All of us, we've all progressed.
Yeah,
I remember
progressed,
you
yeah.
when you first.
Yeah,
Now look at you. You've come a long way. You've come a long way.
Come out
haven't
to
you?
Paragon. I've
Come a long way now. Look at you, part 2, leading your own gangs.
Yeah.
When you started with me, remember, you've come a long way. Yeah. So everyone has progressed.
Jimmy was I was his labourer, and Jimmy was my labourer.
It's just like
Now he was my
everyone's
second
grown.
fixer the other week.
As he said, now he's doing temporary roofs and driving lorries, which he's come very far.
He does come very far.
Yeah, he's doing very well. Everyone's doing very well. So yeah, it's a good career to get
So
into.
will you planning to stay within the construction and the scaffolding industry?
Yeah, I'm
or-
planning to keep going. Hopefully, stay with Embassy. As I said, hopefully move further with Embassy. Maybe supervisor role or go into the office and see how things go. Yeah.
So what about the other scaffolding companies? You've been in the game for 23 years, obviously yourself. You James, you've been with Embassy, just with Embassy. So maybe you, Matt, can tell us any. There is any differences between the scaffolding companies?
There is differences. There's differences in the people. You know, you go to one company, you might not get on with no one. You can go to another company, as Jimmy said, on Embassy, everyone just gets on with like a family, and everyone just gets on with everyone. Like, absolutely everyone on the firm, innit?
Yeah.
We all get on.
Yeah.
And that's like 50, 60 blokes.
There's a few people on there that's been on there for a good few years as well.
Yeah, like all of us, we've all been on here.
You do get
a
the
while.
old person that jumps from, probably been on here 5 or 6 times. Everyone
Come,
gets
go,
about.
come, go.
But there's a group of us that's been on here solid, and everyone gets on.
Where would you be if you didn't join the scaffolding, or you
For
didn't?
me, if I wasn't scaffolding, as I said, I'd still mostly be painting and decorating. I used to be a painter and decorator. And I'd be out on the scaffolding, painting and decorating. I used to look at the scaffolding thinking, this is interesting. As I said, 23 years ago, it was different. So I thought, I'd like to get into this. One day I was painting and decorating, asked the gentleman of the company, said, here, take me on, see what I'm like. So I jumped into it, and here I am now.
As I said, I used to drive for another company, obviously. I used to actually look after their fleet of lorries, and ended up going out to the jobs instead, driving. And before I knew it, I was labouring, and it was tough. But slowly and surely, I got it more and more into it, and I ended up leaving that other career behind and starting onto this. A bit of a jump, but yeah.
You're looking forward to
I want
to
to progress and
with the
progress.
scaffolding.
I see a ladder to climb, and I wanted to climb it.
Who would you be? What do you reckon?
Well, like I said, to be honest, I'm not too sure. Like this is my first, like being on embassy was my first job, like proper job. So I honestly, I don't really know.
What I would say, if I wouldn't start the scaffolding, that would be quite probably difficult for me, and I probably will end up somewhere nasty, somewhere bad. To be honest,
You want to hear the.
Yeah, I think the scaffolding gives me loads of opportunity. Gives me passion. Gives me happiness. Maybe that sounds a little bit too much, but that's what I'm getting from. I'm enjoying visiting sites. I'm enjoying talking to you guys. As I said, I've been in the market for about 25 years, various companies, various environments, working abroad, working for local authorities, working residential, railways, power stations, and then, as you said, this is a career for people who wants to be active. There is also loads of the avenues that you can explore. Jamie have a touch base on the logistics. Yeah, you can get a career in the logistics even within scaffolding, right? Managing all the yard and all the fleet of vehicles. You can have a management career in the office. Yeah, you can. It's wherever you can dream of. Is there construction, scaffolding? It's never end of story. It's like a big ocean.
Yeah.
This is how it is in scaffolding. It's very dangerous. It's a very, very risky job, but it's very rewarding. Yeah.
Very
For the
rewarding,
people like yourselves, guys, when we working in the team, when we talking about it, when we looking after each other, and when we completing the jobs to the highest standard, this is a proud. Yeah.
It is a
I'm sure
dangerous
you
job.
do remember those things when you stand up in front of your job and you said, "Wow."
Yeah, but every job's dangerous, isn't it? If you won't do it properly and work safe, then the job's not dangerous, is it?
Here we go. So hence why changing within the 20 years ago and
now.
these days are a big.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is a big step being put forward.
Look at the job I'm on now. The man, it's like 2,000-3,000 people in that estate.
2,000-3,000 people on
That I have to
on a
deal
daily
with.
basis. School
Public
next to
protection. It's
it.
got a school there. I've got the children that I have to deal with. So everything has to be safe. There has to be barriers out. As I said, that's why every morning it's important to go through that team briefing.
The only way you can make it safe and you can do it is to properly communicate and instruct.
Communication is the key.
That's the key. That's communication
Communication.
and making sure that the whole team understands. So I understand that Jimmy work is quite difficult because he's got loads to do. He needs to look after the exclusion zone, feed the scaffolders, maintaining the storage, housekeeping, report any unusual stuff to the scaffolder who's leading the team. So basically his role is to be in the eyes and ears on the job, plus multitasking, feeding the scaffolders, looking after the storage, looking after the exclusion zone.
It's everyone's job.
It's everyone's job
Everyone's
again,
job.
but his job is on the ground. Your job is on the scaffold, exactly the same. Exactly the same. You have ears, eyes, so you know what you're doing. And when you've got the, let's say, trainee scaffolder with you, you need to look after him, right?
Of course, it's teaching him the
So,
right
yeah,
way. It's all about
teaching him
teaching him the right way for him to grow and go
Here we
further.
When put yourself in 20 years back, who was teaching you, and how you've been taught to do things?
It wasn't who was teaching you, it was do that now, go home.
And then again, so that has changed, that has been improved, and hence why we have created more safe working environment within the scaffolding industry. We've got the less fall from heights. The statistics are still quite high from fall from heights, but very rarely involve the scaffolding operative.
That's a good thing about embassy though, which
It's
I
not
like
only-
about embassy, because they improvise the safety so much, which I think is really, really important,
It's
especially in our task of work.
for us as a business, for us as a outfit out there, the most important thing is your safety. When you're fully operational, mentally stable, physically stable, and have got the right work, you come into work happy. Guys, you obviously trust each other, and could you tell me or just explain just a little bit how significant role plays the trust in your work environment or in your teams?
Trust's a big thing in scaffolding,
Very important.
especially if you've got someone above you that's handling materials. If you know,
It's above you,
Yeah.
under you. Like you've got to have that trust, and we've built up the trust over the years working with each other.
as well as a
Yeah.
rope and wheel.
Yeah.
If you're on a rope and wheel and that person's not tying off down there correctly, they're not just putting their life in danger, they could be putting other people's lives in danger as well.
How you ensure that the guy on the ground is going to tie in correctly? What you do before?
Obviously, you can only keep an eye on that person as much, over the edge. You can't see directly what they're doing.
Okay.
You wouldn't let no one on that rope that's not been
If
trained.
they make one
capable.
small mistake, you have to go down there and make sure they're doing that correctly.
Yeah.
Start showing them as well.
What do you normally do if someone's don't follow your instructions, or you lost a little bit of trust in him?
Well, you'd put them to the side, or you'd have a meeting with them in the morning, going through the tea briefing, have a word of what is causing the problem and how it's affecting the work and the other workers. And then from there, if it didn't work, then obviously you'd have to say hi-ho.
Little quiet word, obviously. It's like, and then talk about going on in the future.
Because that one person
how you could change that problem.
make that one person can really have a
big
bad
impact,
effect
On everyone else.
on the whole job and everyone else.
Let's start from you, Jamie. What's your daily responsibilities? How you will describe what you're responsible for?
Well, so like first thing before we start, like obviously I've got to set up an exclusion zone, so so that like safe for the public and for us as well while we're working. Also another thing is handrails around the lorries, because obviously us accessing the boards, like there needs to be that sort of safety there. So we put the handrails around that, so that prevents falls and stuff. And then I just get everything ready so it's all nice and safe, so that we can actually start our day and start work.
Obviously, as a charge hand, my job is to make sure he's doing his job and that it's done properly, while I'm still carrying out my tasks for the day. Making sure everyone's ready. Obviously, the team briefing book, sign that. Everyone signs in every morning. Appropriate qualifications. Everyone's in order. Everyone's got the right sort of experience for their jobs, and that's pretty much it, really.
Matthew, you've got your part to Scaffolder. What's your daily responsibilities? How would you describe them, and what is very important in your role that you're responsible
similar
for?
to James, we arrive every morning. We set up our lorries with the exclusion zone, handrails on the lorries. I attend the office, speak to the client, make sure nothing's changed from the night before, any other works are carried out, get the team together. We have a team briefing, we have a talk of the works that are carried out in the day and how we're going to carry them works out in a safe way. We all sign the team briefing book, everyone's aware of their job and what they have to do. Everyone's fully trained, and we carry out the work in a safe way.
You know that, guys, within the construction and scaffolding industry, is very important to be fully trained, to hold relevant accreditations and certifications. Scaffolding industry have got their own training board. And then, what was the last time you have been go through your training and with embassy internal trainings, or just for the board training, scaffolding training?
I've done my CPD refresh course only 2 weeks ago. Every 5 years you have to do that, because obviously everything changes, all your SG 422, all your TGs, obviously there's new rules, new regulations. You'll be doing that soon, Jimmy. Every 5 years you have to refresh your ticket. As I said, things change. You know that, James. Have you done one yet?
Not a CPD, no.
All right,
no.
well, you must be coming up soon as well.
Yeah,
So that's quite interesting, because, as I said, I've done mine 2 weeks ago, and there are a few changes, and it's very good because it sharpens you back up, and you walk away thinking, I forgot about that in the back of my head.
So what about you, Jimmy? What's type of training you went through, and what is the next step for you?
Our first type of training was the COTS card, which was done at our yard. That was just like a 1 day thing to get used to, like manual handling and stuff like that. I've done my part 1, which was a 10-day course in college, and I enjoyed that. Opened up my eyes to it a bit more, like finding out why you do certain things within the trade. And then I've got in January my part 2, which I'm quite excited about. can't really wait for it. Like that again's a 10-day course at the same college. So yeah, like there's been times like I've had hard days. And like, I've actually really thought like there's got to be an easier way to make money and stuff like this, like another trade, you know. But like I've always, people that I've been working with always like pat me on the back, said like, you know, I'll be alright.
It makes you feel good, don't it? Which helps with your mental state of mind.
They've
Do you know
been
what I'm
through
saying?
that
So,
stage
like,
at one point when they started as well. Like it's not only you.
Yeah.
It
Of
feels
course,
like
we've all
that.
been there.
We've all been there, yeah, kind of
It's a
thing.
tough
So
game.
yeah.
From the beginning, it's very
It
tough.
can be very
Yeah.
depressing as well if you ain't working with the right people and your job's not going right and you're like, I've got to get this job done.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It is mentally and physically demanding job. So
But you all stick together. You all
stick together. We all help each
you
other.
push each other that little
push
bit.
each other, keeps us
Let's
strong.
Get this done, let's go.
You know, that's why we've lasted so long and we all work together and we've known each
And
other
it pays
so
off.
long.
It pays off.
Definitely pays off.
Yeah.
Look how we've all gone with our careers and we've all moved forward more, haven't we?
Yeah.
Everyone's grown, haven't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And everyone we know, we all stick together.
Sometimes
So-
you sit there and you think, oh, it's never going to happen. I'm never going to be there. I'm never going to be at that point. And
Yeah,
before you know it, you're looking back, like, and you're there. You know.
And then you're already there, yeah.
Yeah.
So mental health and physical health is very important.
Very
element.
important, very
So
important.
So you're ensuring that
It's a very physical job, very demanding, physically demanding job. Keeps you fit, and I personally think it takes your mind away from anything else. Like,
Because you're putting 100%
you're
onto
focused,
your job,
you're
which keeps
focused
you
on it.
mentally focused.
Yeah.
You're mentally focused all
He's
day.
constantly working, like
Literally.
constantly working.
So yeah, it's very good, yeah.
enjoyable.
Enjoyable. It's
Yeah.
more than enjoyable.
So
It's satisfying. As
So-
Jay
so-
said, you
so-
finish a job,
Yeah.
you
Job
look at it.
satisfaction is.
I am sure that you are quite happy and proud every single day that you have been on the job, you have done the job, everything's went smoothly, and then you're supporting each other. That's
Of
a very,
course,
very
definitely.
important element.
It all
of
helps. It makes the
scaffolding.
next day, makes you want to come and work the next day more, doesn't
Yeah.
it? Do you know what I mean? So it mentally
Don't get me
prepares-
wrong.
prepares you.
There is them jobs where you think, oh, I really don't want to go back there. But then
Yeah, but every job's like that.
yeah, it's all ups and downs, and the majority of the time, you're eager to get in there. And
Once you get past that,
yeah.
do you know what I mean?
Good. So what you will say at the end of it? How would you attract the newbies into scaffolding? What would you say to them?
And you know what? A lot of people say you earn good money. You don't work late. You're always home early. But it's not like that. It really doesn't work like that. You know, it's like your job's easy. Like it's not easy. Like we've got a lot involved in our jobs.
Yeah.
There's a lot
Do you know what I
involved.
mean? It's not just ourselves. It's everyone around us, the public, the people you're working with. Like it's a very demanding job.
Alright guys, so what would you say to the young people or to anyone who wants to join the scaffolding or construction industry? What would be your biting?
Well,
Right.
I'd say that like there's a great future with it, especially if you start almost from the bottom. Like it gives you something to work for. Especially now, like a lot of younger people, they don't really know what they want to do. Whereas especially with Embassy, like it offers not just scaffolding, like branches within the construction industry. So I think it gives them like an open option.
It's a great
as
career to get into scaffolding. I'd recommend it to anyone to get into
One
it.
thing I'd say to anyone that's looking to start is if you start, focus, you'll progress faster. You know, stick at it, and it'll pay
It's got
off.
many doors. It can open many doors, not just in scaffolding. So yeah, I'd recommend it to, as I said, not just the young, to anyone that would want to get into it. It's a great job, great opportunities, brings you close together with people. You
I think maintains good health as well.
maintains good
Keeps
height,
you
mentally, physically. Yeah, I recommend it to anyone.
Thank you very much guys, that was a very good session. Thank you.
Thank you.
Cheers,
Thank you
mate.
for inviting us. Thank you.